Mystery Jets and Telomere, and before that it was Beck with Sex Laws, BBC Radio 6 Music. It's 8 minutes past 7 on Monday, the 11th of January. We've not been speaking for a little while because we've been trying to confirm reports of the passing of David Bowie. We've got Matt here with us with some feedback on that.
I can't believe I'm even saying this. It's not news that I want to be reporting, but we can confirm there was a statement on David Bowie's official Twitter and Facebook confirming that he has died. It reads, David Bowie died peacefully today, surrounded by his family after a courageous 18-month battle with cancer. While many of you will share in this loss, we ask that you respect the family's privacy during their time of grief. His son, Duncan Jones, the filmmaker, also confirmed the news, saying, very sorry and sad to say it's true. I'll be offline for a while. Love to you all. David Bowie was 69. He released his final album, Black Star, just on Friday, which was also his birthday.
Obviously, it's a great shock to everybody. So, and David Bowie's music is an absolute central tenet of what we do here at Six Music. So forgive us if we're all a little bit shell-shocked by it. Looking at what people are saying on the social media sites, most people share that feeling. So if I imagine that today's going to be a bit of an unusual day of broadcasting here at Six Music, but if you want, we would love to hear your memories, your thoughts, your first experiences with David's music, if you ever met the man, whatever you want to share, then get it across to us. Perhaps suggestions for things that you might like to hear as well. Let's get together on this. 64046 Shaun at 6music at bbc.co.uk. Tweet us at BBC 6 Breakfast. We'll bring you more news as we get it, if that's appropriate. But for now, from his penultimate album, actually, that we were very excited to play back in January 2013. This is Where Are We Now? David Bowie, Where Are We Now? On BBC Radio 6 Music. Seems appropriate to play that, of course, because we lost David Bowie, it seems, in the last few hours. And we're here essentially trying to do the impossible, which is reflect people's feelings on the subject.
I can't believe this is happening. I mean, this is one of the most important, significant musical artists in the history of popular music, a man who for the whole of his career changed from genre to style, breaking down musical barriers, breaking down what we thought was possible for a musician or a pop star to do. You know, the phrase icon doesn't even really sum up the impact he had, not just on music but on popular culture, is just staggering. So it's impossible to try and sum up a man's career on a radio show in just a few hours. But what we're going to try and do, as well as getting input from you, the listeners, talking about your recollections of Bowie, your favourite songs, your memories, as you say, if you actually met him or saw him live, what those memories and experiences were, what he means to you, what he meant to you.
Yeah, I think that's important, really, because it's funny, isn't it, how people can feel like a family member, essentially, as long as we've been alive, certainly, and aware of popular music. David's music would have been there, and I think that goes for a lot of people. So you feel fantastically close to somebody who you perhaps never met, so, and that's why it's important that we all get together on this today, I think, and there's an outpouring of grief together, I suppose. Yeah,
I guess what we're going to try and do as well, I think, is look back over his career. As we say, it's impossible to document the depth and breadth of his musical output and his impact, but what we're going to, I think, look at some key moments throughout his career, across the show. I mean, I guess a good place to start would be Space Oddity. I mean, he was a musician way before Space Oddity came out in
1969,
1969, yeah. So, I mean, he was born in Bromley in London. Born in Brixton, moved to Bromley a few years afterwards. And always had an obsession with music when he was a child. Played the saxophone, inspired by his brother, who was a big jazz fan. The saxophone was kind of his first big instrument. And although he had dabbled in kind of mod music and rock and roll and almost sort of Tommy Steele vaudeville music as well, you saw him, strangely for someone who made his career defining new genres and new trends later on. Early in his career, he was kind of following the news. He was
that's right.
hopping from style to style to trying to find one that suited him. Obviously, in the future, it would transpire the only style he could ever find that was true was his own, that he invented. But Space Oddity, which came out in '69, was kind of his first proper hit. Got a certain amount of promo because it was used by the BBC to help document the moon landings, the Apollo 11 moon landings. Came off the Space Odyssey album, which was not a huge hit, but started to establish him. If you listen to that record, many people regard it as kind of the first proper David Bowie album, as opposed to the previous ones, which, as I say, were kind of almost sort of music hall and vaudeville.
Pastiche
in places. And it's a great record. It's got some fantastic songs on it. And you can start to see the sort of the start of Bowie's songwriting abilities start to really sort of crystallise here. Some of the strangeness, some of the lyrical ambition, some of the imagery, and also some of the ability to harness that weirdness in that world and also make it accessible. Put these beautiful melodies and harmonies on top of it. But yeah, this was his first ever hit.
Okay, so if you are out and about today, do take care on the roads. It's looking very wet out there, but obviously with more detail, let's speak to Carol Kirkwood.
Good morning, Sarah.
Morning.
I'm at the London Wetlands Centre this morning, and a mixture of sunshine and showers for many. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, Carol. She doesn't sound well. Is she a trooper, Carol? You know, she's clearly got a cold. Okay, it was Matt Taylor. I didn't quite realise. We're a little bit distracted this morning. 18 minutes past 7. Thanks very much to Matt Taylor with the weather.
On BBC 4.
It's difficult to pinpoint.
On BBC 4.
Okay, it's BBC Radio 2, 18 minutes past 7. As a radio DJ, it's often the biggest honour and sometimes slightly overwhelming to be on air when news breaks. And it has been announced in the past few minutes that David Bowie, one of rock's most influential singers, has died. His publicist said in a statement that he passed away peacefully following a courageous 18-month battle with cancer. We'll obviously have more on that story in our next bulletin. Space Oddity from David Bowie, of course, playing this after the shock announcement that David has died. It was announced, I think just after 7 o'clock. There was sort of as usual in these days, rumblings on Twitter going on. You start to, obviously we have to check with the news and everything throughout the day here on BBC Radio 2, and with Moira in about 5 minutes or so, we'll have more on that story, of course. I'm sure many of you are reeling. I know that his music means just so much to so many music fans out there, and all throughout the day on Radio 2, I'm sure it will be talking about it. We'll find out more. Just very, very sad indeed.
Right, it's now 7:30 on BBC Radio 1. We are going to get the latest news and sport now from Newsbeat with Tina Dahealy.
This is BBC Radio 1.
Rock star David Bowie has died.
Newsbeat.
We start with some breaking news this morning. It's been confirmed that the singer David Bowie has died at the age of 69. His son says it follows an 18-month battle with cancer. Our music reporter Sinead Garvan has the latest.
The news was announced on David Bowie's official social media pages this morning. The short statement read that he died peacefully yesterday, surrounded by his family after a courageous battle with cancer. His son also confirmed the news on Twitter, writing, "Very sad and sorry to say it's all true." The 69-year-old had a career spanning 6 decades and was constantly reinventing himself. David Bowie was regarded as one of the most influential characters in music, as well as a fashion icon.
Nesta will have the latest in the entertainment news coming up.
Newsbeat.
In other news, sunny spells but colder than last week. Radio 1 Newsbeat, it's 7:33.
Thank you, Tina. That is such sad news.
It is. So
regarding David Bowie.
Everybody's waking up to the news today that the singer David Bowie's died after an 18-month battle with cancer. Just been confirmed in the last half hour on the singer's official social media account, and it's also been confirmed by his son.
I feel really upset about this.
It's really sad. People are it's come as a shock to everybody.
Yeah.
It's millions of fans all over the world.
Yeah, of
just
course.
waking up to this now.
And such a shock. Like me and Fifi this morning, we were talking about like the new record came out. When did that come out?
His
Thursday?
latest album came out on Friday, Black
On Friday.
Star.
Yeah, so I was away and we were talking about it coming out and we were trying to get hold of it and we watched the new video and stuff, and it's crazy to think that it's such a shock because we were just talking about it the other day, and I mean on holiday for hours, talking about him, and he's one of the few people that you can talk about and celebrate for hours and hours and hours.
It was just his birthday as well on the same day.
Yeah, crazy. That's such sad news, that, because I mean, he's someone that made me like music, and made me want to like work at Radio 1 and made me like pop music. So it's really, really sad news to wake up to that, because he's one of the last icons. And we've lost a good one there. So we thought we'd play some live stuff now from a gig back in 2002 that David Bowie did down at Maida Vale. There was less than 200 people there. It was a very, very special gig. So we thought this could be good to play this morning. So we found this in the Radio 1 archives, and we thought we should celebrate the legacy and play this. So David Bowie, R.I.P.